Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and on this episode, I'm going to be talking about a movie that made me stop and think about what the future could have been. I mean, seriously, the world right now is so full of division and hate and screaming and shouting. Well, I think there would be a lot less fighting going on if we had a little bit more Roller Boogie. Now, I'm not saying it's the answer to all of our problems. I'm just saying that it's very hard to be mad when you're roller skating and listening to your favorite song. And if you don't believe me, just go ahead and try it. You're welcome in advance, by the way. Now, Roller Boogie is a movie from 1979 with Linda Blair that tells the classic story of a rich girl who falls in love with a boy from the streets who's really good at roller skating. So let's get rolling, shall we? Now, I know what you're thinking. Does this take place in some kind of future where everybody dances on roller skates all throughout town? No, but I wish that were true. I mean, sure, the idea of looking out your window and seeing this all day, every day, may seem ridiculous, but does it? Does it really? I would love to live in a future like this, where everybody is happy all the time and rolling around on roller skates. Just seems like it would be very efficient, and everybody would be in a good mood. What? Am I so horrible for wanting that? I mean, just look at how much fun these people are having. That could be us, skating around and revealing clothes, listening to music, making out on top of dumpsters. Where do I sign? Anyways, Linda Blair plays Terry, a rich girl whose parents don't listen to her all that much.
Well, I thought I'd go down the beach today and commit suicide.
That's nice, lovey.
Honestly, that is just so inconsiderate. People go to the beach to try and enjoy themselves. They don't want to see someone's dead body. And that wouldn't just ruin the beach for a day. That would ruin the beach for someone forever. Although I don't even really know why I'm complaining. I don't even like the beach. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I just really hate the sand. That's my issue with the beach. You ever try eating a bag of potato chips at the beach? It doesn't matter how clean you think your hands are. At some point, you're biting into a chip that's got some sand on it, just enough to make it really gritty and gross. Anyways, she picks up her rich friend and they drive out to the boardwalk, where roller skates seem to be the main form of transportation. I mean, just look at all this skate stuff. It's everywhere. Even wrist guards were cool. Now, was this how life really was back in the late 70s? I don't know, I wasn't born yet. But I'm just going to assume that it was. Like, this is basically peak civilization right here. Anyways, working at one of these skate shops is Bobby, who I guess is kind of like a local legend, which is something that I always wanted to be, but for the right reasons. Not because of something really embarrassing that happened when I was 11. Also at the skate shop is Phones, a guy who really loves carrying around a boombox and headphones. And I have to mention, I really appreciate that. I do. The fact that he's carrying around a boombox, but he's using headphones. It's just being considerate. Have you ever been in a situation where you go out someplace where, you're confined to a space with other strangers, like a bus or a train or something, and someone on the train or whatever just decides they're gonna play their music out loud? I actually had this happen once when I was at a restaurant, and these guys at another table just decided, we don't like the music that's being played at the restaurant. We're gonna play our own music with our own little Bluetooth speaker. That's fun. So now you get a combination of the restaurant music and their shitty trap music or whatever. And it's like, it's great that you like listening to a certain type of music, but nobody here thinks you're cool for making us all listen to it. In fact, everybody here hates you. They're not saying anything because they all want to be polite, but trust me, you suck. So Bobby's friends are like, come on, Bobby, come dance with us. And he's like, no, I can't, I'm working. And they're like, that doesn't matter. And he's like, yeah. So he just leaves the store and does it. And this actually seems like it could happen. It doesn't seem too far-fetched based on how laid back and fun everything seemed back then. Whereas these days, again, I don't know if this is true, but I have heard rumors that if you take too long of a bathroom break working at a fulfillment center, they take you to some kind of a time theft dungeon. And you're lucky if anybody ever hears from you again. And can I just throw it out there? I think this is a style that we should bring back. I'm talking about no shirt and jean shorts with suspenders and a belt. I mean, you'd think one would defeat the purpose of the other, but this guy is clearly not taking any chances. So Bobby notices Terry and tells her that she's next, but she says, I don't think so, and leaves to go get a frozen fruit bar. Or buy the whole fruit bar stand. I don't know. I just assume that's the type of shit rich people do for fun. And Bobby is like, wait a minute. No woman has ever not been enchanted by my skating moves. She must be a robot, or even worse, a rink skater.
Probably some rink skater from Beverly Hills.
Yeah, see, from the extensive research that I did while writing this episode, I learned that apparently rink skaters and street skaters used to hate each other. This was some real serious shit. They were basically like Crips and Bloods. It got violent. But not only is Terry a rink skater, she also plays the flute, and this guy is about to lose it over the sight of her knees. Turns out this is Franklin, the son of one of her mom's friends, and he's apparently one of Terry's friends. And this guy needs to be on a list somewhere. I'm serious. Because Franklin just goes for the grope. Terry throws the dessert tray on him, but believe it or not, it actually gets worse. Later, when Terry is leaving, Franklin is waiting to ambush her in the garage like the perverted psychopath that he is. Terry rips off his towel, which you'd think he'd be into, but instead it causes him to back off so that she can drive away. Maybe he's worried because she can actually see his size now. And I've just got one question here. I mean, he's wearing the towel because he had to take his pants off because they got dirty. But what about his underwear? And you know what, now that I think about it, it actually doesn't seem too far-fetched that this guy probably wasn't wearing any. Anyways, that night, Terry and her friend go to Jammers, and this is like the go-to roller rink. Just look at this place. People are having the time of their lives. And by the way, I am not trying to disparage roller skating at all. In fact, when I was younger, we had a roller rink locally in town, and at the end of the school year, a bunch of classes would go, and it was actually really fun. The only thing was, I was never good at stopping. Didn't matter if it was roller skating or ice skating. I could get going. I just couldn't really stop. So what I liked about the roller rink is that, you know, you could just kind of like sail off of the rink into the carpeted area that would slow you down, and I'd just act like, yeah, I meant to do that. But this is on a totally different level. Some of this is just insane. I mean, you're not even skating now. Come on, you're just showing off. Anyways, this is where Bobby sees his chance to try and win over Terry. But once again, she's not impressed by any of his moves. Remember, she comes from old money, and old money isn't impressed by many things. But Bobby sees the perfect opportunity when Conway, the local one-man wrecking crew on skates, is causing chaos. So Bobby grabs Terry and then makes her promise to skate with him, otherwise he won't let go. And I mean, think of all the great romances throughout history that started off like this. You know, one person basically forcing the other person into a situation where they had to spend time with them. It's just magical. But this is where Terry flips it on him and offers him $10 an hour to teach her how to skate. And that would be like $40 an hour in today's money. So that's pretty generous and honest of her, because she knows this guy would teach her for free. I mean, he's begging to spend time with her. Actually, it doesn't make sense that she offered to pay him. Unless this is one of those, you know, psychological rich person power moves. I don't know, I'm not rich, but it seems like something they do. So then after 15 minutes of skating, she cuts him loose, which again is just such a rich person thing to do. Just throwing around money, making it rain at the roller rink. Bobby's friends want to go out and pick up women, but Bobby is busy training. He's going to be an Olympic skater. He doesn't have time for all this fooling around.
Hey, I got 1 hour workout, 2 hours practice. You know my routine. Hey, get off my case! My time is my own. You get it?
And you know what the funny thing is? This character, he's all about going to the Olympics for roller skating. That's like his goal.
No Olympic judge is gonna vote for a turkey boardwalk skater.
Well, roller skating wasn't an Olympic event until, let's see here. Roller speed skating first appeared on the Olympic stage at the Summer Youth Olympic Games in 2014. It's like 35 years after this movie came out. How long was this guy intending to train? On a serious note though, I should mention, the guy who plays Bobby is named Jim Bray, and he is not an actor. He's actually an artistic competitive roller skater. So I guess Terry is just really into Bobby now. That was fast. All he had to do was spin her around a few times.
Oh, are we gonna do it right here?
Anywhere you went to.
Terry's friends are getting pissed off waiting for her as she and Bobby climb around on the wet, jagged rocks. That's always a good activity if you're looking for an ankle injury. And make out on the beach.
Look, you're not no bimbo from the boardwalk. Are you sure you want to do it?
Yes, this romance really has its twists and turns. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am totally invested. I really am. Seriously, this dialogue is hilarious. I can't wait to see what they say next.
You're not figuring on paying me for this too, are you?
So Terry runs back to her car and takes off, which is amazing. She took her friends here, they wait for her, and then she just leaves them behind. See, again, this is the thing about being rich. You don't have to care or think about anyone but yourself. It's actually how a lot of rich people became rich in the first place. No empathy, no consideration. Screw you, I want money. Give me more. Back at home, Terry is doing what all rich teenagers do, drinking milk while sitting on the steps.
At the end of summer, I go to school. When I come back, I'll be a woman. I never had a chance to be young.
That's true. She never had the chance to be a kid. Her childhood was totally messed up. We all saw it. So I guess Terry's parents are making her go to the Juilliard School for Music.
So what? I'm a musical genius. What a drag! What a bummer!
Yes, it must suck to be so good at something. What a curse to have such an amazing brain. See, this pisses me off so much. It's one thing to be rich and talentless, but when you're really good at something and rich because of it, that makes it so much harder for me to feel justified in my jealousy. I would much rather continue on just reinforcing the idea in my head that the world is completely unfair and that everything is random. I mean, I don't want to acknowledge my own shortcomings. What? I'm going to take responsibility for my own failures? That's no fun. Ah! Terry's mom is like, "Ugh, you're giving me a headache." So she starts going through her miniature fun pharmacy to find some Valium and then says, "Okay, Terry, if you don't want to go to Juilliard, what is it that you do want to do?"
I want to win a roller boogie contest down at the beach.
A roller boogie?
See, if I have a kid one day, this is the moment that I'll have nonstop anxiety about. When my teenage kid tells me what they want to do with the rest of their life. All you can do is just stand there and hope that it makes sense. I will say it wasn't that bad when I told my parents what I wanted to do with my life. I just told them, I want to make videos. And they just went, "Oh, okay, what kind?" Terry gets upset because her mom says she doesn't really know what roller boogie is and that they'll talk about it later. So she decides to go and park at the beach and sleep in her car, which seems like a very safe idea. And I just gotta stop and point out, this park job drives me nuts. Just look at it. She's not even pulling in all the way. She's taking up 2 spots technically, and it even says no parking. So it's like 3 infractions in 1. Oh, but I forgot, she's rich. The rules don't apply. They only apply to us, normal people, the parking peasants, if you will. Anyways, the next day, Terry calls Bobby and they go out for lunch where she asks him to teach her how to skate again. What is the deal, Terry? All this flip-flopping, like first you don't want to skate with him, then you want him to teach you how to skate, then you don't, then you do, then you don't, and now you do again. The world of roller disco doesn't have room for flakes, if you don't know. You're either all in or you're all out. And you know what I admire about the people who are in? They really commit. Again, look at some of these outfits. These people are all about it. Terry's dad is on the phone with her mom because he's worried that Terry might be missing.
Now, you just tip Mr. John or whoever's doing you and come home.
Okay, what does Terry's mom do?
If she's still in Los Angeles, we'll find her, okay?
Well, maybe if you would have listened to your daughter every now and then, you'd know that she most likely is roller boogieing down by the beach and has been all day. and most of the evening too, apparently. A really long time. I wish I had the time to explore those kinds of activities, but I made my choice years and years ago that I would spend all of my free time watching weird movies and writing jokes. Do I ever regret my decision when I watch movies like this and I see what my life could have been? Roller skating around, making out on the beach? No, I don't. We've already been through this. I hate the sand. So that night, they go to Jammer's, and once again, I really respect the spectacle of this activity. My God. And at one point during the evening, Jammer is visited by a Mafia guy who wants Jammer to sell the roller rink to him so he can knock it down and, I don't know, build condos or something. But Terry, Phones, and Bobby can hear the entire thing through this conveniently placed hole in the wall. And Jammer agrees to sell the place. I mean, what is he supposed to do? They have guns and the power to bend screwdrivers. It's intimidating. Jammer gets super drunk and then tells everybody, "Get the hell out of here, all you kids. A few months ago, they declared disco was dead, so this place is already out of style." Terry and her friends try to come up with some way to save the roller rink because, you know, the Roller Boogie contest hasn't happened yet. And Terry has been training for hours. It's been her lifelong dream to win that contest. Ever since a few days ago. And then they realize Terry's dad is a lawyer. That's the answer. There's gotta be a legal loophole in there somewhere. Terry goes home and she's like, "Hey Dad, yeah, I'm back and I'm alive and I need something from you."
I need to ask a favor.
But as long as it's not about skating or disco music.
Lillian, shut up.
So Terry tells her dad the whole situation, but it turns out her dad works for the mob guy. Oh no! It looks like it's all over and Bobby is really upset. So he goes to see Jammer and finds him drunk beyond belief. And that's when he has an idea to try and cheer him up. He pops in a tape, laces up his skates, and goes for one last sad boogie. Then he goes out onto the beach to think about life. But it turns out that one of the mob guys is out there undercover watching him. And he takes out a walkie-talkie like, "Yeah, boss, I got eyes on that Bobby kid who is a person of interest for some reason." Then Bobby discovers that Phones' boombox was recording the night that Jammer was pressured into selling the rink. It's all on tape. But I think Phones is converted. He's like a Hare Krishna. Like, this guy Phones was so devastated by the roller rink closing. He joined a religion. I mean, dude, you can skate other places. So they go to Jammer and tell him they have the evidence. He was coerced into selling the place. They can hold the contest now.
Yeah, man, everybody's been practicing all year to get ready for this thing.
Yeah, some of us have been practicing forever for this. Some of us worked really hard on our costumes. Some of us stayed up late last night cutting our jeans into shorts. And then started second guessing ourselves because, you know, maybe we cut them too short. But then again, you know, there's no rule book, there's no guide, so I mean, how short is too short? So Jammer is like, "No, I'm not going to do it. If I open the roller rink, even for one night, the Mafia guys will burn the place down with all of you inside." But then they stare at him, and he's like, "Okay, this is actually really awkward. If I open it, will you promise never to stare at me like that again?" So there's a chase scene now between the Mafia guys who are in a car and Bobby and Terry, who are, of course, on roller skates. And this is about as slow and underwhelming as you'd imagine. There's even a part where they jump off of a improvised ramp.
Jump it!
And here's some movie magic for you. I am 100% sure that in order to make it look like they actually jumped over the car, the last shot, they just took a shot of them standing there and they just had them jump up and down, and that was it. And then they just cut it together, which makes sense. But it's funny when you watch that last shot just by itself on repeat because it's painfully obvious. Bobby and Terry manage to hide behind a dumpster and fool them. And then they actually skate after the car and hold on to it without the Mafia guys noticing, as they just so happen to drive by jammers.
There they are.
Ah, crap, who knew they'd be going to the roller rink? The place of contention between us and them. So everyone is there, even the cops, and suddenly Terry's dad shows up out of nowhere to defend his client, but then they play the tape over the speakers, and Terry's dad says the contract is invalid. The roller rink is saved. The contest can go on, life is perfect. Terry's gonna go off and play the flute at the school for music, and Bobby is going to the Olympics for an event that doesn't even exist. Now, believe it or not, this movie was actually successful. The budget was estimated to be around 1.5 million, and it pulled in 13 million at the box office. Apparently, this led to the planning of a sequel in Mexico called Acapulco Roller Boogie, which eventually fell through and left us all wondering what could have been. Now, I can see why this movie went on to become kind of a cult film, because there are so many parts that are unintentionally hilarious, and it's definitely very weird. But that's pretty much it for this one. As usual, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. We can't just let these Mafia guys push us around. We're just as tough as they are. You know what? People don't take us seriously because we're not dressed like a traditional gang. We're not walking around in leather jackets. Well, have you ever tried roller skating in leather? You get hot very quickly. And besides, I think we're hot enough as it is. Yeah. I mean, just 20 minutes ago, some lady down at the boardwalk asked me if I was a Chippendales dancer. I'm not. You all know that. But if they were to offer me a job, I would have to consider it, right? And I'm not afraid to admit it. I was not into rollerblading. I had them, and then I'd go down the hill on my street, the whole, you don't know how to stop, so you just jump onto the grass and hope you don't look like too much of a loser. I remember when I got them, and I was like, sweet, I can start blading. And I was like, years later, no way. Honestly, you could never enjoy the beach fully ever again if you found a dead body at the beach, could you? I mean, you could go and, build sandcastles and shit, but you couldn't be there, with 100% enjoyment.